Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching this from. It's your man again, Diego Ife, and I'm back again with a belated upload of the Soul View podcast. So, first things first, a happy new year. It has been a few weeks since you last seen me, and in that time, I've been recalibrating. There's a lot of content and logistics with what's going to be happening in 2025. And so, in keeping with my New Year's resolutions, I decided that I needed to make certain adjustments in order to make sure that the consistency and the quality can be maintained and built upon. So listen, it'll be interesting to know your New Year's resolutions. I know it's a bit belated since it's the 18th of January, but better later than never. And it'll be interesting to hear about your experiences, Christmas, and how things are going so far, progress-wise, with those New Year's resolutions. I mean, I have my own as well, and one of those is to tackle maybe contentious, controversial topics, add value, create connections, and much more. And of course, that's going to feature on the I've got multiple platforms, so they're going to feature across those. So I have variety. They say variety is the spice of life, and I can assure you that we have variety coming. That one I'm very, very, very sure of. So just to give you a heads up or primer for what to expect in sort of subsequent uploads, we've got some content around the blind date debate, some of the social commentary aspects, context, documentary style voiceover videos. So I have some of those that I'm going to be bringing. Got a lot of news on the Africa Bulletin side, whether that's to do with diplomatic issues between Nigeria, Niger Republic, and the rest of the Sahelian states. And that would include Burkina Faso and Mali. Whether it's to do with certain opportunities and investments within the African continent, whether it's to do with discussions and discourse on, for example, America and their policy within Africa, and commentary coming out from Angola about America suppressing economic opportunities and economic progress in order to clip the wings of China as much as they can. There's much more that's coming with that, a lot of content, but a massive thing which I mentioned in my return video from back in November was about accountability. Big thing for me. More so self-accountability. In some ways, I have some distaste on how social media has bastardized or inflated the meanings of certain terms, whether that is narcissist or God knows whichever one. But this is just accountability. And for me, it's something which is very important. It is often kind of just spoken about in a cavalier way. Yeah, accountability. People weaponizing it, against one another. Oh, I'm holding you accountable. And I noticed about a couple of years ago that was something which became popular. That's not what I mean when I say what I say. Accountability for me is making sure, come hook or crook, every single commitment, or shall I say, commitment or priority is going to be progressed, right? And I'll say this much. I, like many other people, have to contend at times with some forms of self-doubt, but ultimately, you can transcend it because you probably have more wins than you don't. And if you haven't, get more wins, solves the issue, solves that equation. Understand? So for me, accountability, the key to it, and make of it what you will, the key to it is looking at confronting your fears, considering how they may have penetrated your subconscious mind, and beyond that, your sense of spirit. You understand, your spirit. And if you want resolutions, and again, I'm following this advice, I'm only giving you the advice that I would give myself. The key, whether it's accountability or whether it's sustaining New Year's resolutions and making them a permanent resolution, right, is you need to rewire your spirit, so to speak. Now, what do I mean by that? There's a saying, I do not know the source, but I'm sure that people that are watching would have heard it at some point in time, that it takes 6 weeks of concerted effort in order to achieve a certain habit or entrench a habit. What I will put to you, and this is just based on my training, my background, my exposure, which is fairly extensive when it comes to matters to do with philosophy, metaphysics, and that type of thing, right? What now happens is your spirit is what your habits. Sorry, let me put it like this. Your habits are informed by the state of your spirit and also your subconscious mind. Okay, I'm not going to get too technical with it. I can do something along them lines on another upload, but really and truly, that 6-week horizon is to rewire your spirit. Now, for people who have managed to really make some serious strides or have been emphatically successful with previous resolutions, they'll know what I'm referring to. You understand? And the critical thing when it comes down to sustaining those resolutions is, and this is something that I did. I looked at the root word for resolution, and the Latin for it is resolver or resolvere. Yeah, resolvere. It means to loosen or break away. So really and truly, this idea of fear of failure, fear of falling off your bike, I mean that analogously, when it comes down to pursuing those goals, you don't have to worry about it, because if you literally follow the root word of resolution, you naturally have to release your fears. You don't have there's no other option in regards to that, right? Cool. So look, I hope that helps. And again, just with respect to the primer, what you can expect next, and again, if you're interested in my Substack, which I will put the link for, you can get, put it like this, insightful information into how I look at the world. Some of the content that's very important, whether it's to do with mental health, the world that we're moving in towards, that type of in a transitionary period. And so there's a lot that I've put into making sure that content is valuable and thought-provoking, a unique contribution, right? And the topics that I've written about and I'm uploading currently, I'm going to also be doing think pieces and upload story times, if you will. Also, one area of accountability, for those who don't know, my background is in football. Yes, I've got my African stuff, that's my background. And me having played football for the majority of my life, I took some years out to, let's say, work on some other things, right? It made sense at the time. And so in the process of doing so, I essentially reinvented myself. So for a lot of people that know me-ish or have a perception of me, I am a sportsman. Above all else, I'm a sportsman before I'm an academic, businessman, social commentator, historian, you name it. I'm a football man, I'm a sportsman, okay? Need to be very clear about that. And so when it comes to accountability, I have a unique, complex background like many other people. And I'm going to shed light on the key messages behind my journey in football, which started from 1991 at the age of 3, Easter 1991 to be precise. What I've experienced through that point all the way through like your amateur football, professional academies. But critically speaking, what I really want to drive home through it is a certain message. It's to do with redemption. It's to do with accountability. It's to do with really what I call it self-empowerment. In other words, resolver. You understand? By me sharing these chapters of my background and using it as an opportunity to speak about my journey towards greater accountability, and also what redemption looks like, the next chapters in football. There's a lot of, again, this is based on the feedback I've been given, a lot of wisdom. And I should add as well, though a big chunk of my audience are men, for women who are interested in the male psyche, and I'm not talking about modern men that, and I'm just going to be blunt here, are women with penises and obviously a Y chromosome. I'm not talking about those kinds of guys. I have to be very, very clear about that. I'm talking about giving it raw, giving it crude. You understand? Excuse the pun, by the way, on the former word. But yes, giving it to you raw. It's essential that you receive this information. I mean, put it like this, there's so many guys you can listen to, right? So many guys. But what I am essentially saying is that the kind of experiences I've had are unique. But insofar as understanding men's mental health, psychology, the coming of age, I've mentioned before on previous uploads a rite of passage. A lot of the work I've done and I'm doing will shed a lot of light. And again, as well, I'm available. If people want to reach out to me, we can have certain discussions on certain topics. I am looking to increase engagement as well with those that watch me. Listen, I'm going to wrap it up. I think I've been speaking for quite a while now, but thank you for listening to me. Happy belated New Year once again. I am rooting for you, each and every one of you, when it comes down to achieving your goals. And I'm even rooting for you if you fall off your bike, you feel a bit questionable, self-doubt and that type of thing. Long position, you're not. I had to clip the last bit. I had to clip the last bit of that. What I was going to say is that you're the tortoise and not the hare, right? So you need to keep that in mind and keep pushing. I did not want to say you're the hare. That's not, yeah. So anyway, the key point to note, you got this. You got this, I got this, we got this, you got this. Look out for some more content. We've got much more coming, and have a great weekend. Until next time.